be yourself, read what's going on, feel the pulse of what, be here. Be here what's in this audience. You will get a sense of how people are feeling, how business is doing, how the community is doing. To me, that's the best book.
I don't know, yeah. And it's, about the pulse, that's real key, because I do to read the newspaper. I do like to watch the news, kind of feel what's going on. Because we're a community also in that sense. And you come into the restaurant and someone wants to talk about what happened this morning.
Yolani losing to Kamehameha.
No, we beat Kamehameha 2 years in a row. Okay. I don't know how we did that. But you know, it's to me that's very important. Just kind of knowing what's happening out there, and just talking to people, meeting people. I'm sorry I can't really help you on the book side, but I read a lot of magazines. I read a lot of magazines, read a lot of newspaper articles. PBN, you know, Honolulu Magazine, those kind of, just find out what's going on. For me, because of my lifestyle, it's hard for me to read from A to Z, the whole thing, because I only have X amount of time in a day. If I started a book, it'd probably take me 2 years to finish it, you know? So I like to read that 10, 15 minutes at a time.
And nowadays you can take that, you can take your thing and walk
nook
down the street like this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, read your book.
Yeah.
I can't read like that.
I know.
That's true, yeah. You're traditional, yeah. I think I would prefer reading from a traditional book than an electronic book too.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Gentlemen, we are almost out of time, but what I would like to ask the both of you is if there's one thing you could leave us with this evening, what would that be? Why don't you go ahead, Bruce. One thing.
I think if I was to leave here tonight, leave you with one thing, I think thing is never give up. You know, again, I got to come back to this organization, FAMES. You know, this is a group of people that took this on and just keep going at it. You know, you got to believe in what you want to do. And there's days I wake up and I say, the hell with this. This is not what I want to be doing. Why am I not that multi-billionaire? Why am I not that You know what? You're a great person, whoever you are. And take on whatever you believe in. You know, Joni, I give her credit. When I remember her talking about this organization, and I'm looking at her like, oh my God. She did it because she believed in it. And she still believes in it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would leave you with. Follow it through.
It's kind of scary because we kind of think of it when you're talking about that. You know, it's like sometimes people think, man, I'm having a bad day, a bad week, bad year, or whatever. But you really think about it, things are really not that bad. You know, we live in a great country, in the best state everybody else wants to live in Hawaii. We do a project every year called the Tap Water Project. And we help raise money for UNICEF to, I think it's like $1 can provide clean water for 30 or 40 days to a child. $1 could, you know, and a lot of these things that we take for granted, our air, our water, food, electricity, housing, you know. I think sometimes it's just like, well, we could have more of this, or you know, we want this, we want this. And it's our society that we live in, I think, American society. Yeah. And I think a lesson we can learn through all this whole recession is about living within our means.
Oh, yes.
And it's not how much you make, it's how you control your spending and what you spend your money on, what's important to you. And because I tell you, I've lived the whole life, I mean, that whole year between 97 and 98. And I struggled, and I did that when I left Chicago to go back to Denver too. And I had like $97 in my pocket, and I was too proud to ask my parents for anything. And I lived on my sister's couch for 3 months, eating more around a cup of noodles. Good thing cup of noodles were cheap. Peanut butter sandwiches. But if you can control your expenses, my point is, well, I was happy though. And then the whole year, 97, I got to go running every day, go to the beach, do my business plan, make my contacts, be outside in the sun, you know, and meet with friends and family and spend time with my grandparents, my mom and dad. And it was very rewarding to me. I wasn't making any money for that whole year, not a cent other than landscaping, cutting down trees, selling coupons. It's just enough to pay the bills, and that's about it. But I was happy. And I think it's very important as we go forward that you look at what we talked about earlier mentioned about success. You define it within your heart and what's going to make you happy, and live life to its fullest there.
By the way, guys, get out and vote. You gotta vote. I mean, what did we have, like 36% this last?
For sure.
You guys gotta vote. I mean, the only way we're gonna get things changed is vote. So please vote.
I'll tell you the way I vote. I don't know how many of you guys vote at the polls. How many vote at the polls? Okay, how many vote absentee? And I do it because of my time. And you know why? Because I vote absentee, and I don't know.
I love
it's
voting.
a time-wise
Mine's
too.
tradition.
But I get into that thing when the first time I went to the poll, and I look at, who's this? And then like, check this box. I don't even know this person. Right? That's what they said about the Board of Education. Right? It was left blank on so many because nobody knew who these people were, and you're supposed to vote for them. You know? But and for those of you that don't vote, try voting absentee because it helps a lot for me. Because when it goes down to the lines, I go down and I call up people that I might know who these people are and what they recommend, or I go Google them or whatever. And it helps me make a better educated decision as far as who I vote for. Just something for food of thought there.
Bruce and Nate, is truly
Thanks.
been an honor and a pleasure. How about
Thanks.
a round of applause for our
Thank you.
two inspirational speakers?